Hey guys, it's the Geek again, and I am been going nuts filming lately, and I'm excited about it. I've finally been able to get some stuff up and running without any problems. Without any new problems. My editing software is as it always was, but there are no foul-ups. The computer's not going slow or anything for once in its life, and it's really exciting to me. So, I just want to jump ahead and keep moving on these episodes. Now, we did Lego Doctor Who a little while ago, and Lego month is going to be in full swing. I'm really looking forward to it. But before that, we're going to do one or two other episodes. Suppose we have like at least another month before we actually get into it. So, before we do any more Lego stuff, I want to get into some action figure stuff. And if you remember episode 52, we took a look at those little fnaf blind bag keychains. And now we're getting into full swing with the keychains are baby stuff compared to the adult stuff, for lack of a better term. We've got the Five Nights at Freddy's collectible articulated action figures by Funko. Now there's 5 in a set. In the set, there's Freddie, Golden Freddie, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. And I'm excited. I've got the whole series here, and for the first time, not including Transformers combiner figures. I don't know if those count as Build-A-Figures, but this is the first set I've been able to get the entire wave to make a Build-A-Figure character, and I'm excited. The Build-A-Figure is Springtrap, but I was a little concerned because I looked at... First, I was only able to get 2 figures, and that was Freddie and Golden Freddie. They were the only ones they had at the store at the time. And I looked at Golden Freddie, and it said that it included the left leg. Well, I don't think you can see it in there, but I looked in the packaging, and that's not a leg in there. That's an arm. But luckily, it's just a misprint on the label. And the same misprint is on the other figure, which I don't know is here. I think it's Bonnie. Yeah, Bonnie says he includes an arm, but there's a leg in there. So, it's all good. Somebody just mixed up the names with the pieces. And we're going to go ahead and tear right into these. And we're going to take a look at each individual figure, and then we're going to put Springtrap together, and then we're going to have some fun. Okay, guys, we are finally reviewing the FNAF figures, and I have a love-hate relationship with these guys. But we're going to start with the back and work our way up. So this is Chica. We'll put her up front. And I love sculpt on all of them. I love the paint application. It looks dirty and nasty and old as an animatronic. And I like a lot of the items that they came with. Like Chica came with her cupcake. And even the sculpt on the cupcake is awesome. But the articulation is just awful, and so is the quality to a degree. And I'll show you that with our next one, which will be Foxy. Now again, with Foxy, the sculpt is awesome. The paint job is awesome. I've never really gotten a good look at Foxy's legs, so I don't know how I feel about this. I know that they were like skinned off or something because for the idea of the animatronic in the game, like he was in Pirates Cove and he was in one of those things where you weren't supposed to see past his waist, so there's really no point to seeing this part, so that's probably why it was like that. But I don't know, maybe if I had seen the game better and actually seen this in the game, I'd feel better about it. And I'm wondering, was his patch always on this eye? I thought it was on the other eye, but that could easily be me being wrong. And then the hook, oops. The hook does not turn. There's no articulation with the hook. And all these figures, all their joints are ball bearings, with the exception of the head. And they all clip off like this. It is such a fragile set of figures to the point where you can't even like put them in a bin if you wanted to store them like that, because they're just going to fall apart. And it's sad, because if they spent a little bit more money to reinforce the joints, it would have been just a nice, beautiful set of figures. But there's Foxy. And then we got Bonnie, who's the same as all of them. And let's see. The head joint is the only one that doesn't really come off, and that's cool. But the arms and the legs, every joint in there is removable, and that kind of bothers me. And I think that's just to simplify the figures, because every figure in this run has the same set of joints. And then we've got Fready, of course. And of course that's going to happen. And he comes with the microphone. Yeah, Bonnie came with the guitar. I forgot to point that out. And it's the same thing with every one of these figures. The joints are awful, but the accessories and the paint job and the sculpts are beautiful. And the biggest problem I have with the articulation is with Golden Fready. Because, for one, Golden Fready should not be a standable figure. I mean, it's cool that he stands, if you want that, but I've never seen him standing. He's always a hallucination, so he's always sitting around, slumped and lifeless. And unless you disconnect the joints, you don't get that. And that makes me really sad. But these are the 5 figures in the set, so we've seen all of them. So now let's take a look at Springtrap. Alright guys, so here's Springtrap, and he's a Build-A-Figure, but he's exactly like the other figures, and I feel like that's a cheap cop-out. The only reason he's a Build-A-Figure is because he's built just as junkily as all the other ones, and honestly, I've always been under the impression that a Build-A-Figure is supposed to be bigger or awesomer in some way. It's supposed to be something super special about the Build-A-Figure, but there's really nothing special about Springtrap, except for he's a little more beat up than the others. Like, I would have been happy if they just opened his mouth a little and you could see what was supposed to be the human jaw underneath. That would have been enough to cheer me up and for me to enjoy this. But for the most part, it just disappoints me. Don't get me wrong, I am happy that these figures exist, and they were cheaper than the normal figures. I think they were like $11 a piece, which when you compare that to a Transformer or something, that's really cheap. But then again, they're not really the best in quality, so I guess in the end you get what you pay for. So in the end, I'm not upset or disappointed with my purchase, but I'm disappointed with the quality of the product. But it's FNAF. I'm probably going to buy anything FNAF, except the games themselves, and I won't get into that. But it's a great, great franchise, and I hope there's no end in sight for it. These toys, however, if we get a Wave 2, I really hope they up the quality a little bit. Well guys, that was it for the Five Nights at Freddy's Wave 1 action figures. Got my hopes up a little too high, but you know what? It was still good for what I paid for it, so no real complaints here. I mean, yeah, there are complaints, but overall I'm happy with what I got. Starting next month, I think we're going to start next Friday. We're going to shoot for next Friday, no promises. We'll see how it goes. We're going to start LEGO month off right with one of the more recent sets that came out, which is the Midway Arcade Level Pack. This comes with the arcade machine, the Gamer Kid, and the G6155 Spy Hunter. I'm really looking forward to doing all these. We're going to be doing one of these, at least one of these, once a week, every week for the week of August. And we're going to see if just keep going through September until the new figures come in. And then we're going to take a look at a bunch of the sets from the new waves, hopefully. It all depends on how much money I have, you know. The one wave I guarantee you we will take a look at is the Gremlins wave. And, well, that's it for this episode. The Pokemon are going to take a break for a while. And then at the end of the whole LEGO craze, month or 2 months, a special announcement is coming out, so be on the lookout for that. I don't know if I'm going to bring it up until it comes up. We'll see what happens. But until next time, this is the Geek saying, good journey.